Watch me paint the farm stand while I tell you about some issues I ran into with code enforcement. So it was like the first month that our farm stand was actually open for business. I went to check the money box and I found a long strip of paper that was from my city, and it basically told me I had to move my stand. And since it's a trailer, it's technically a vehicle, so they told me I had to move my vehicle from the grass, because apparently it was on the city's property even though it was in my lot lines. Now this was a year ago, but I think I remember them wanting me to pay a fine for it. So I ended up driving myself to City Hall. As I was leaving my driveway, I noticed that all of my signs were missing from my property. I had a bunch of signs in my lot lines that said like farm fresh eggs, come to the farm stand, basically directing them to the farm stand. And I own a good chunk of land, so I mean, it looks vacant, but it's not vacant. I own it. To clarify, there's nothing on the lot. It's just trees and like woods. So you wouldn't technically know if anybody owned it unless you did research before ripping signs up out of the ground from someone's property. But anyways, back to the story. So I drove myself to City Hall to speak to code enforcement myself. And when I walked in, there was a lady sitting at the desk, and I was like, hi, all my signs are missing from my house. And the lady behind her was like, yup, that's me. I took your signs, what about it? And then she did that like cold douchey stare where she just like stares right through you with her like mouth flat, you know what I mean? So I was like, well, could I get them back, please? And she's like, I'll give them back, but you absolutely cannot put them back up. And I said, why? And she was like, you just can't put signs on vacant lots. If the property isn't yours, you can't use it. You have to move your stand too because it's not your property. And she was in disbelief when I told her, I own it, that's my property, and I was in my lot lines. It wasn't even on the government property. I said that she just looked at me because she didn't know what else to say. I already got her wrong. What she didn't know, though, was I already read all of, like, the city laws and the Florida laws for my farm stand and having a vehicle in the grass and XYZ. I already read up on it all, so I was prepared when I went in there, which she wasn't expecting, because she started listing all these reasons why I couldn't have a farm stand, and each one she said, I gave her the exact, like, document and everything that she was wrong, and she was so pissed. After arguing for some time, she goes, you know what, I'm just gonna keep an eye on your house. I'm gonna be watching your house. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a different person back then, so I left, cursing her out and doing all this bad stuff and flipping her off. I shouldn't have. But immediately when I got back in my car, I wrote an email to the manager of the code enforcement and I told him everything that had happened. I told him how rude she was to me, and I told him that she went on my property and stole the signs from me and that I considered it theft. And then boy, oh boy, the manager emails me back and tells me I need a business license and I can't sell eggs and I can't sell this and I can't do that. And that if I own any ducks, I have to move them somewhere else because I can't have them in the city I live in. Which, once again, everything was wrong, and I sent him all the documentation saying, yes, I have a business license. Yes, I can own ducks. Yes, I can sell eggs because I got an egg permit or an egg license or whatever. And then after all of that back and forth, he ended up calling me and apologizing on her behalf. And I apologized on my behalf because I said some things I wasn't proud of. She made me angry, man. Anyways, so after all of this, I printed her picture out and I put it at my stand, and I said she was banned from the farm stand in my property. And I put if she's seen on or near the property, I'd call the police or worse. About a week later, I made an update video for my TikTok, and someone commented about the picture of the lady that was banned and was like, what happened? So I did a little story time, and I blocked out her face as best as I could for the video. But somehow she saw my TikTok and called the police, and the police showed up at my door and was like, just delete the video, like nobody actually gives a fuck. And this was a year ago. I think I deleted it. I can't remember though. But anyways, I haven't seen that lady ever since then, and come to find out, she doesn't work there anymore. I think she got fired. And I think it's because of this whole situation. But I guess the moral of the story is knowledge is power, and if you're gonna set up a farm stand, just research and print out everything so that you're prepared when someone tries to bother you.